Okay. So good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining me. And I think what I'm going to do this morning, I would like us to tune in pretty quickly before I really start talking, because I want to start today to really move into the space of the heart. I've had some awarenesses this week of what I do when emotions come up, when things that are a little difficult to feel come up. And so I want to talk about that a little bit. And I'd love to do that in a very relaxed state with our eyes closed and just really be able to go in and touch that space of the heart. So let's start right off the bat by tuning in with Om Namo Gurudev Namo. So bring your hands to your heart center. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and we'll begin. Om Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Pause and feel. Really calling inside with that chant, inviting that inner wisdom, that voice of the heart to rise up. Taking a deep breath in, squeeze the pelvic floor and the navel center up, sending that energy to every cell of your body. And then exhaling, moving into our next chant. Ad Gare Name, we'll do it as a celestial communication chant. I believe all of you know how it goes, but let me just in case go through it. It's Ad Gare Name at the heart. Jugad Gare Name, third eye. Sat Gare Name, opening your arms and your heart to the universe. And then Siri Gurudev Name, bringing your hands to prayer overhead and bringing that prayer back down to your heart. We'll do that 3 times. Close your eyes and let's begin. Ad Gure Name, Jugad Gure Name, Sat Gure Name, Siri Gurudev Name. Ad Gure Name, Jugad Gure Name, Sat Gure Name, Siri Gurudev Name. Ad Gure Name, Jugad Gure Name, Sat Gure Name, Siri Gurudev Name. Take a deep breath in. Bring that prayer up overhead, squeezing everything up, squeezing your spine, all that energy moving, merging. Exhaling, arms wide, moving slowly through your own amazing electromagnetic field, kissing the earth and just pausing, taking it all in. Moving inside, connecting to what happens when we invite those energies through chant or through mudras into our bodies and connect with that energy. Notice where it goes, notice what it does. It's a calling out to the divine. And take a deep breath in. On the exhale, make your way into Shavasana. We're going to start off on our backs. Once you get there, let yourself get very comfortable. Close your eyes and bring your focus to the space around your heart. Just noticing the energy that exists there naturally. And what I want to talk about a little bit is how important it is, at least for me, to keep my heart open and soft and vulnerable, even when things get tough, even when I have that urge to push away or run away. There's a saying by the Dalai Lama that I love. We can let the circumstances of our lives harden us so that we become increasingly resentful and afraid, or we can let them soften us and make us kinder. We always have the choice. And the word choice is so important because sometimes it feels like I don't have a choice. And that is because my emotions, when they come up, certain emotions, certain triggers, I have this automatic reaction to them. I do what I always do, and I do it unconsciously. And so, a big part of being able to maintain that sense of vulnerability and openness in the face of what's going on in our society today, so many different things, and in the face of what goes on for us personally, is to be conscious, is to notice what I'm doing, and then to make a choice. And even if I choose to run away, it's okay. As long as I'm doing it consciously, as long as I'm aware that I'm not a victim of anything that is outside of myself, circumstances that are outside of myself, And for me, I notice when emotions get really big inside and I don't know what to do with them, I either tend to want to retreat and isolate, or I want to push them outward somehow. And those are normal reactions. And I think there's nothing wrong with doing any of those things, as long as what I'm doing is looking for a way to release those emotions, release the energy of that, not escape from them. And that is the big difference, right? When we're escaping, we're moving into the state of unconsciousness. We're running away from something, or we're pushing against something, right? And what that does is bring us further and further and further into a state of unconsciousness, further and further away from our own truth, right? So like an escape is more like a burying. Like if we're trying to move away from something, we're burying it inside, and it's going to grow and it's going to grow and it's going to grow. A release is allowing things to move through me. So on days that I feel like it's just too much, I may want to retreat a little bit. I may want to isolate a little bit. And that's okay. For me, what that looks like is taking a walk on a beach alone, or maybe sitting and reading a good book, or, gardening, whatever. It's not, and it can be shoving food into my mouth unconsciously, trying to stuff. That's not good. That doesn't make me feel good. The pushing away sometimes comes out in ways of me being angry and annoyed at people. And so anything that somebody says, I just am annoyed and I'm sharp with them, then I don't feel so good. Or I find myself, when I'm really trying to push away, right, rather than to release, I find myself being very argumentative, wanting to be right rather than be happy, wanting to make my point. And when I feel that energy, as I become more and more conscious when I do that, I realize that that energy doesn't serve me. I don't like it. It doesn't feel good. It's not a part of who I am. And so I start to soften around that. So sometimes when we move into that pushing away or we move into that escape, it's a good entry point to noticing, wait, I'm doing it again. And then I can stop, right? I can cry instead of shoving food in my mouth. I can talk to a friend or not, choose to spend time alone. If I want to retreat inside to the cave of my heart for a little while. And that's the thing, we have this place inside of us, right? This heart center, Anahata, unstruck, it's the Sanskrit name of our heart center. And it's the cave, it's the cave of our being. We get to go inside whenever we want and reconnect with our truth, because that's the seat of the truth. The seat of the divine is inside of our own hearts. And so when we do that, when we move inside the cave of our own hearts, we give ourselves an opportunity to take a breath, to process what we're feeling, to allow ourselves to feel sad, vulnerable. And then when we're ready to move out into the world. And for me, if I don't give myself time to process the feelings and the emotions that come up, then I kind of drag them around with me, and feelings from the past become conflicts in the present. Somebody will say or do something, and if I'm not conscious, if I'm moving unconsciously, then I will hear something that is connected to a current situation and I'll react. But what I'm really reacting to is a hurt from the past. So when I let myself process the feelings as they come up, when I feel that sense of, oh my God, I feel so much grief and my heart just can't hold it, I want to run away. If instead I let myself process it, then it moves through, it doesn't stay stuck. And it allows me to move into a state of conscious awareness where I can understand that sad is not bad, right? That even anger isn't bad. I mean, there's so many ways that we can process what comes up. If I feel the need to process the emotions in a way of action and in a way that's tangible, I can do it. I can do whatever I feel moved to do. I can go out and protest if I want. I can do that. That's not bad or good. It's just what's motivating it. Am I trying to take out something on the inside, on the outside world? Or is it really coming from a place of, I feel so much social injustice in this world, and so I feel like I'm motivated to go out there and speak my voice, right? That's not escaping. That's stepping into the power. That's allowing the energy to move through. If I'm going out there and I'm angry and I'm just unleashing all of my anger and hate from years and years and years and years of buildup on anybody who's standing in my path, that's escape. That's pushing away. That is not processing. So I've been doing a lot of thinking about that, because there is so much in our world right now that, it's been triggering things for me. And I'm grateful for the ability through these practices to be more conscious, to be more aware, to be able to look and stop and take a breath and ask, do I want to allow this emotion to come out this way? Or is there a different way? Is there something else I can do to express this emotion, to let it move through me? Sometimes it's as simple as digging in my garden while tears flow. And sometimes it's a matter of picking up the phone and saying to somebody, you really hurt my feelings. So it's different all the time, but it's the difference between being connected, being conscious, and being unconscious, and just moving through. Just some stuff to think about today as we move through our practice, move through our lives. Take a few deep breaths here. Really breathing into your heart center, all the way down to your toes. Then slowly begin to clench your fists, really squeeze your fingers and let them go. Do that a few times, squeezing and releasing. And then letting your hands come to rest. Begin to, from this lying down position, circle your shoulders a little bit. Just circling them around a little bit, waking your body up. And then moving your attention to your lower back. Just start to tense your lower back and release it. Tense and release. And start to point your toes and relax them. Point and relax. And then you can either leave your hands at your sides or bring them up overhead. And you're going to just stretch your body. Just stretch everything. All directions. Just stretch, stretch, stretch. And then start to move your body from side to side like a snake. Just coiling from side to side. And then take your palms, rub them together gently. Place them over your eyes. And then with your hands over your eyes, open your eyes. And really slowly begin to move your palms away, introducing your eyes to the light. And then take the heels of your palms and start to massage, massaging your brow and your cheeks. And bring your right knee into your chest. And with your arms out to a T, let your right knee float to the left, coming into a little bit of a cat stretch here. Back to center. Stretching on the other side. Left knee comes in and floats to the right. Nice long deep breath here. And then coming back to center, both knees into your chest, wrapping your hands around your knees, raising your nose towards your knees, really squeezing in. And from here, let your head relax back, and you can either begin to rock up and down on your spine or roll to your right. Bring yourself up to a seat. Once you get there, get comfortable. We're going to do a breath meditation. So that was a series of exercises to wake you up and warm you up. It's a nice way to start the day, maybe before getting out of bed, right? Go through a series of those little stretches, a little self-massage and self-care. Good way to enter the cave of the heart before we really get moving. So for this meditation, you're going to take your left hand, place it on your heart. Your right hand is going to come up, Gyan Mudra, thumb and pointer finger together, other finger straight up. Your elbow can rest against your rib cage, and you're going to close your eyes and inhale deeply through your nose. Hold it in as long as you can. And when you can't hold it in any longer, you're going to exhale all the way out. Then you're going to hold the breath out as long as possible. And then when you can't hold it out any longer, you're going to inhale. And keep moving this way, breathing in this way. This is a meditation to calm the heart. And often when those feelings come up, or when I don't want to deal with whatever the emotion is that I'm feeling, my heart is very agitated. My mind begins to feed my being with all these reasons why I should be angry or worried or fearful. Starts talking about what's going to happen in the future. It scares me. Or it starts hashing up things from the past that caused me pain. This breath work, this meditation brings you to a place where you release all of that. You find that calm stillness in the cave of your own heart. One more minute. The Yoga Sutras, Patanjali talks about the method of stilling the mind by placing the attention on the heart. Iyengar has a translation of the sutra. It's Sutra 136. He says that concentration is on the innermost core of the heart, wherein alone the sorrowless, effulgent light glows. So as we affix our minds on this glowing light at the center of our hearts, we begin to move to a place that's beyond sorrow, this place of changelessness, this place where it's possible to experience freedom from the mental fluctuations. Instead, really settle into our truth. See if you can feel that as you breathe for another few seconds here. And on the next inhale, bring your arms up to the sky. Pause and hold. Pull that pelvic floor, the navel center in and up. And then bring your palms together down to your heart. And then sit in stillness and silence for a few minutes. Really connecting with that place of stillness. Take another concentrated deep breath here, really filling the heart. Pausing with the breath full. Exhaling completely. Bringing your hands down to your knees. Just begin some gentle neck rolls here. Moving into that place of centeredness and peacefulness. Into a state of conscious awareness of our truth. A place of freedom from the whisperings or sometimes screamings of the mind that urge us to attach to the past or the future. Begin to move in the opposite direction. And bringing your head back to center. Open your eyes, move on to all fours, coming into tabletop. Once you get here, make sure that your hands are planted under your shoulders, your knees under your hips. Really feel the ground beneath you. Feel the balance in all four corners of your body here. Your weight evenly distributed. Your spine nice and neutral, your neck in line with your spine. Breath or two. Make sure that your head is not hanging. Really let it be in line with that spine. Yeah, there you go. Then begin slow cat-cows here. Nice and slow. Imagining the breath moving from your sacrum all the way up to the crown of your head. And then back. As you flex your spine. A string of pearls moving, each vertebrae. Just gliding. And come to center. Begin some very slow and deep hip rolls. Moving your hips nice and wide. Yeah, that's nice, Jen. Moving your hands forward a little bit to support you into being able to really move deeply. Everything with so much consciousness. Feel everything moving from that space of the heart. It's the space where everything meets, your mind, your senses, your soul, everything meets in that heart center. Begin to move in the other direction. The heart is like this vast, waveless ocean. It's endless. There's so much peace. And when we allow ourselves to sink so deeply in the middle of it, then we feel like we're home. Letting yourself really move into that place of home where all the answers lie. And then come back to stillness. Move your hands back under your shoulders if you move them forward. And then bring that right hand straight out as if you were reaching for someone across from you. Left foot comes back and up off the mat, finding some balance here, engaging the core. Be mindful to keep that head from dumping down, really keeping it in line with the spine. And then if you want, you can take your right hand and reach back for your left ankle, or you can stay right where you are. Opening the heart. One more breath. And then letting everything move up, out to a straight line as you release, and then down to the mat. Taking a moment to connect, and then moving to the other side. Left hand out, right foot back, really stretching. And feeling that core engaging, that center point. And here too, either reaching back for that ankle, coming into a heart opening, or staying right where you are. Beautiful. I love to watch you guys move. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, everything comes straight out as you release and back to the mat. Begin to sit back towards your heels. Come to actually sit on your heels. Bring your trunk up, upright, yep. And take your hands and bring them out to goddess arms. Really spread those fingers. And then start to reach up. And as you reach up, come up off those heels. And then let your arms come out again to goddess arms as you sit down. And just keep going a few times, reaching up, moving down. Right? We move out into the world, and then we move back into our space. And we move out into the world and back into our space. And the next time that you come to your heels, stay. Let your hands come down to your sides, touching the floor, just taking a breath. With your hands still, the fingertips on the floor, begin to move your heart forward and then back like a cat-cow motion. But it can be nice and subtle. Rocking open and moving in. And we give ourselves permission to move deeply into the world with our voice, or move deeply into our own hearts with our voice. When we do that consciously, we discover the sense of power, the source inside of us that lets us know that we're not lost, that we're not forsaken, that no matter how we feel, how broken we feel, we're okay. Come to stillness, letting your body move forward back into tabletop. And once you get there, you're going to curl your toes, lift your hips to the sky, coming into downward facing dog. Take a breath or two in your downward dog. And slowly, with your knees slightly bent, begin to walk forward, coming to forward fold Uttanasana. Once you get there, you can place your hands on your shins and then look up, coming to a neutral spine, stretching it out a little bit. On an exhale, dive back down. You can move your hips from side to side here. And then coming to stillness, bending your knees deeply. And your arms come forward, come halfway up, moving into chair pose. Take a breath here, feeling your bottom really moving toward the earth. Your arms really reaching toward the sky. And then come all the way up. Let your hands come to your heart center, prayer. Pause, notice what it feels like to be upright. The planting of your feet, the opening of your heart. And here you're going to step your right foot back. We're going to move into warrior two. So you're going to step your right foot back, parallel it to the back of the mat, short side of the back of the mat, yep. Your hips are going to be squared to the side. Your front knee is going to bend. Just tracking toward that second toe, not moving over your toes. Take a look at Jen. That's a great warrior two. Protecting those knees and just really feeling very strong here. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, let your back hand begin to move down that back leg, the right leg. Left arm overhead, peaceful warrior. And then inhale back up, exhale, bending your elbow, coming into side angle. The back hand coming over the ear, moving toward the front. And keep flowing that way. Inhaling up, sliding into peaceful warrior. Inhaling up, folding into side angle. Feeling your strength. Consciously moving, not dumping into any part of your body. Noticing the places where maybe you need more space. The next time you find yourself in side angle, stay there. And then let your hands come down to the mat, the inside of your left foot. You can let your back toes, swivel forward. And then start to walk yourself to the right side, coming wide on your mat. So you're gonna walk your hands, there you go. Feet are paralleled. Just let yourself fold forward here, a nice wide-legged forward fold, letting everything go. And then begin to bend your knees. You can plant your hands on the mat, bend your knees deeply. And then begin to lower your butt, walking your hands up onto your thighs, coming into a wide lunge, not lunge, sorry, squat. You can bring your hands into goddess arms here, bringing them up. And just feeling your power for a moment. Letting your pelvis release so deeply into the earth, that softness of Mother Earth. And yet that sense of reaching up toward the sun, of that sun energy burning the fire. Transformation through you. Softness and the power at the same time. When we soften in our hearts, when we soften in our minds and our voices, it doesn't mean that we're weak. Inhale your arms up. Bring your body up. Keep your legs nice and wide. Exhale, fold forward. Wide-legged, forward fold. Take your right hand, bring it to your left ankle. Inhale your left arm up to the sky. Take a long, deep breath here. As you exhale, move to the other side. Vulnerable and soft is not weak. It's the most powerful place you can come from. Come back to center. Placing your hands on the mat, begin to bend into one knee and then the other. Stretching those hips out a little bit. And then coming to stillness, continuing to walk to the other side of your mat now. We're going to come into warrior two on the other side. Yeah, there you go. So your left foot is going to be behind in the back, right? Right foot forward, squaring those hips to the side, bringing your arms out, and begin your flow from peaceful warrior to side angle. Reaching, bending, being so flexible in your mind and your body. Being so aware of what's needed right now in order to move the energy through you. Another thing about being conscious is we realize that we don't have to be stuck in the same habits, the same thoughts, the same routines. Next time you come into side angle, relax there for a moment. And letting your hands come down to the mat inside the right foot. Walking yourself to a wide stance again. And this time, letting your entire body go, moving into a very easeful forward fold. And planting your hands, walking your upper body forward, coming into a wide leg downward facing dog. You can wiggle your butt here a little bit. And come to stillness. Walk yourself back so that you're facing the front of your mat where we began. Step your back foot forward, come into forward fold. Bend your knees, inhale your arms out wide and up, bring your body up. Reach up to the sky, palms together. Move those palms through the midline of your body, diving back down to the floor. And continue inhaling up wide. Exhaling down through the midline. The next time that you dive down, stay there for a moment, and then you're going to reverse. Inhaling up through the midline, palms together. Exhaling wide and diving down. Imagine gathering the energy around you, moving it through you, being so aware of the consistency of that energy. Is it light? Is it heavy? Whatever it is, love it, embrace it, let it move through. Next time you dive down, stay. Plant your hands, step one foot back and then the other. Let your knees come to the mat. Let them come nice and wide, big toes together, pushing back into child's pose. So softening in the face of adversity, of angry people. It's a way for us to see beyond those barriers that they place in front of their hearts. To see right through when we come from a place of being vulnerable, being open, being who we are, and we plug directly into the source of what we know to be true, the love, the light, the peace that this world deserves. And we can reflect that into the lives of others. The ultimate service is to allow someone else the space in which they can look inward and see their own hearts. The ultimate place of service is to hold that space. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, let your palms come together. And then on the next inhale, bend your elbows, bring that prayer onto the top of your head. And just feel, breathing, being, allowing the energy of the heart to pour. Vulnerability is the courage to be authentic, to show up and be seen as your true authentic self despite what is going on around you, despite the uncertainty of how that will be received. Have the courage to be who you are in a world that sometimes doesn't give us permission to be that. Taking back your own power. Let your hands release down. And begin to plant your hands, coming back up to tabletop. And once you get there, extend your left leg behind you. And then bring it up off the mat, and then bring the knee in toward the nose toward the knee. Do that 3 times on the side. And then stretch that leg all the way up and back. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Bring the left knee down to meet the right. Move to the other side, right foot back. Nose to knee, knee to nose. 3 times. And then let your stretch, 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 and then press down. You're going to move back into a seat. We're going to do one more meditation to release some of the frustration, the depression that we tend to hold before we move on to our back. So you're going to take your arms out wide, and you're going to bring your hands together, but you're not going to touch. It's 8 strokes. On the 8th stroke, you are going to touch. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, clap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, clap. Close your eyes. Keep going. Your breath can begin to move with your arm movement, so it almost becomes kind of a breath of fire. Maybe not quite. You're really going to move here to create a sweat, right? To allow the energy of the fluid in your body to just begin to release through your pores. Our body is such a miracle. It gives us so many outlets for release. Our tears, our sweat, our blood flows through an open wound. Our breath moves in and out. Our ears take in while our voices allow release. Our cells, they shed, make space for more. I'm so grateful for the miracle of your body, and so grateful for the space that allows the truth of your soul to comfortably reside in this world. The next time you come to that clap, let your arms come out wide and stay. And then let them float to your heart center, each hand flat against your chest. Elbows relaxed, eyes closed, and feel. This exercise reverses negativity in our minds. It tends to come out in our attitudes, releases frustration. For the second part of this Kriya, you're going to open your eyes. You're going to bring your hands in front of your body. Your thumbs and pinkies are going to touch. So you're going to have these little, like that. And you're going to begin to just roll your hands around each other. And close your eyes, go as fast as you can. just mixing it up. This is an exercise to release depression, to move the energy that's stale and stagnant. If we burrow too deep inside and we forget to come out into the daylight, this exercise can kind of help us open up and move and breathe a little deeper. This exercise spontaneously moves the energy of heaviness away and brings us into our light. Simple, powerful movements that we can do to move deeper and deeper into a state of conscious awareness. Anything I do without conscious awareness brings me into a deeper state of unconsciousness. Anything I do with a state of conscious awareness brings me deeper into my heart, into my truth. Soft and vulnerable, powerful, goddess energy. Almost there. 30 more seconds. Inhale deeply, leaving your arms where they are, coming to stillness, but inhaling nice and deep, squeezing everything up. Exhaling your hands to your knees, eyes remain closed, and just feel. I'm just going to read something to you. The waters within us. Spirit like water is a source of life. We cannot live dry. The more we are worn by experience, the more of an inlet we become, and the more the waters of life wash out of us. This is why tears come more easily the longer we are here. Perhaps wisdom is nothing more than the unsailable waters rising within us to swell around the eye, the way that oceans soften land, evidence of that inevitable tide that takes a lifetime to rise. We're so afraid of the waters within us that we often tense as soon as we see tears, asking what's wrong, when perhaps we need to ask those at sea, what do you see? Take another long, deep breath. And as you exhale, make your way to your back. And once you're there, plant your feet. Bring them nice and close to your butt. Your arms at your sides. We're going to move into a bridge pose. So you're going to begin to bring your arms up overhead, or you can come into robot arms and lift your hips up to the sky. And stay there. You can also clasp your hands under if you'd like. Make sure that your chin is moving away from your chest. Your thighs are soft, but moving forward. And then exhale down. And inhale your arms up to the sky and overhead, hips up. And exhale down. Move into a flowing bridge. And the next time you release down, stay. Bring your knees in towards your chest. Reach for your insteps. Moving your knees towards your armpits, moving into happy baby pose. I want to tickle everybody's feet. I always see a row of feet. And just let yourself move inside. Carefree nature of a baby. Just reaches for its feet without thought. It curls and moves and cries and kicks and laughs without a whole litany of questions and lists about whether it's okay to do so. Let yourself be that state of a baby, willing to do whatever you need to get your most inner needs met, and having a total faith that you will. And releasing your hands, bringing your souls together, coming into Baddha Konasana. You can place your hands on your knees or on the outside of your thighs, on your ankles. And then let your knees come into your chest. One hand on each knee, begin to circle your knees away from each other and then toward each other. And then in the opposite direction. And then bringing your arms out to a T, take a spinal twist here. Letting your knees float to one side, your gaze to the other. And then moving to the other side. Coming back to center. And your legs come out long, taking any final twists or stretches that would feel good before settling in and preparing for Shavasana. As we settle into stillness, I'm going to just talk you through a short meditation before we move into silence. Let your body rest, let your mind rest. Begin to become so aware of the space just above your third eye, midway between your third eye and your crown. This is the space of the Guru Chakra. It's our link to the intuitive wisdom and the inner divinity, the blending and merging of everything that we are. As you place your attention and your gratitude there, begin to notice a bright light, a guide that begins to emit from the space. Begin to follow this light as it seems to guide you down towards your heart center. And as your attention floats along with this guiding light down towards your heart, imagine that you see the opening of a cave at the heart. In your mind, follow this light through a passage into a beautiful garden. In the center of the garden is a pond. And in the pond blooms a beautiful 8-petaled lotus. And on each of the 8 petals, as well as in the center, there's a flame burning so brightly. Imagine yourself taking a seat in meditation at the edge of the pond, directing your attention to each flame one at a time in a clockwise direction, starting with the first flame at the top, the root chakra, your foundation, the energy of earth, grounding you. Gratitude for your earthly gifts flows from your heart to this flame. And then moving your attention to the second chakra, the second petal, the energy of water, creative flow, giving thanks for your ability to feel and create and manifest and flow. And moving to the third petal, the third chakra, the energy of fire and transformation, expression of you into this physical world, the energy that allows you to live your dharma. The fourth petal, the fourth chakra, the air element, bringing life to your physical body, compassion, love, the gateway to your inner divinity. The fifth flame, the fifth petal, the fifth chakra, the energy of space and ether, expression, healing, space to grow and to flow. The sixth petal, the sixth chakra, moving beyond attachment into the space of I am, the end of duality, beginning of consciousness. The seventh petal, the seventh flame, the seventh chakra, connection to the divine, universal knowing, unity, fairness, justice. And then the eighth petal, the eighth chakra, your auric field. Feel it drawing in more love and more light, feeding the cave of the heart, sending its unlimited supply of love and light into the physical world, into your physical body. And finally, focus on the central flame in the middle of the lotus, the place where your mind, your senses, your soul merge. Feeling waves of peace and gratitude flowing from this place, filling completely every pore, every bone, every organ, the space around you, creating this magical, mystical embodiment of the divine for you to rest in, release in, be in. Allow yourself to drift into Shavasana. Slowly now begin to deepen your breath. Bring movement to your fingers and your toes. If you're on your back, you can bring your knees into your chest. Just rock from side to side. If you're seated, you can take a gentle twist here. And bring the palms of your hands, the soles of your feet together, rub, connecting to the fire of you. And let everything come to stillness as your knees move back into your chest, either rocking up and down on your spine or rolling to your right side. We'll meet in a seat, hands at the heart center, eyes closed. May the long-time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. Please join me in sealing our practice together with a long Satnam, a deep inhale. Sa. Nam. Sliding your thumbs to the space between your brow, dropping your chin into your own amazing radiance. Be loved, be lead, be true to you. Satnam, everybody.